Good morning. I'm actually about to go work in my garden, but I thought I'd come out here and check on our clays from yesterday, and I'm glad I did because they're ready. So you can see the clay has completely settled. There's a lot of just clean water on top, and there is like this broken up texture to it. So I'm going to start with this mystery clay. Now, I don't want to pour all this water onto my plaster because it'll just run off and make a mess, and it'll make the clay take longer. So I'm going to pour off this extra water. I wish I had an extra bucket, but we'll just use this bowl that I cleaned up yesterday. I don't really care if all this extra light clay runs off with it as well. I'll get it down to the last little bit here. And then I could let this settle again and get more out of there, but I probably won't get much, especially since this is so small of a batch, and because I don't know what this clay is, so I'm not comfortable mixing this back into something else if it's terracotta, and it's dark. I don't want to mix it with any of my clays and make them darker. So let's go over here to the plaster. Okay, so we're just gonna put this on here. I'm gonna have to wash my hands real well after this so that the iron doesn't stain me. Now, in my temperature controlled classroom, this usually takes exactly 24 hours. I'll lay it on about a ½ inch thick. This is a small amount, and this block has been unused for about a year, so it may be extra dry. It may have some humidity in it from being out here because this area isn't temperature controlled yet. And I'm gonna get all of this out of here as best I can because I don't know what it is. Typically, I would just leave whatever's in the bottom to be mixed in with the next batch of reclaim. I'm gonna pour this back in here. Won't be too clean, but it'll be cleaner. Oh, I meant to bring a towel with me. That's what I forgot. That's better. You don't want all this clay going on down your plumbing anyway, so get as much of it off as I can. Now, right now I think I'm leaning more towards black clay. Still not 100% on that. I don't know if I'll ever be like 100% on what this is. Probably just have to make something small out of it. Now the bad thing about putting this dark clay on here is that some of the iron will get taken into the porcelain, which will discolor it and potentially can discolor if you put like a light clay on here as well. In the public studio I used, they had a section, they had several of these slabs, and they had one specifically for dark or iron heavy clays, and one just for porcelain to keep everything separated. And I plan on making a wedging table with 2 of these, and probably will keep one for dark and one for light clays. I'm gonna come back and check on this at the end of the day, see where it is, and if it's ready, I'll bring you with me. Okay, it's been over 4, maybe 5 hours since we put this out. It is feeling pretty firm, still soft, but when it comes away clean like that, that means it's ready. So that's a pretty short time. It could probably go longer, but I don't want to risk, it getting too dry. So. that this is staining my hands and on the texture. I think this is the black clay, not terracotta, because this has some grog in it. I don't remember. I remember the terracotta being very smooth. It's not a lot of grog. It's hard to tell when you're not on the wheel because it like doesn't bother you when you're hand building, or it doesn't bother me when I'm hand building. But like terracotta doesn't really stain my hands this much. I don't remember it staining them at all. So I think this is the black clay, but I'm gonna put it in its own baggie for now, and I'm gonna start reclaiming the next bucket. I'm gonna reclaim Robert's bucket next because it is black clay, and I think that'll help me determine if that other stuff is black clay. So I don't need to pour the water off this one necessarily. I can just kind of pick it up out of here. Still got some solid pieces in here. Really want to make sure your clay is broken down all the way before you start the reclaim process. Amount of clay was real small, didn't take very long to dry. This probably will need to go overnight. I may come out and check on it just because I'm not familiar with how fast things dry in this studio, because I don't know what the temperature and the humidity is like day in and day out. So I'm not familiar with how to time things here yet. So I'll come out and check on it later tonight, and then, but it'll probably be tomorrow before I actually reclaim it. Well, we have an ant problem. Focus. Yeah, so ants are on the clay, are on the floor, because they're falling from the ceiling. That's not unsettling at all. Okay, it's hot out here, so I got the fan running, but the clay is ready. Only problem is that there are also ants running across it. So, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Whoop, where'd it go?
You may have some ants in your clay, huh?
Yeah, there's one right there. He's dead. This one's dead. I don't want them in the clay. That's gross.
I wonder if it'll be a problem.
Nah, they just burn out. They're organic.
They just burn out.
I mean, if you can put paper in clay, you put anything in. Ooh, this is a little on the wet side, but I'm afraid that tomorrow it'll be on the dry side.
Yeah.
So I'd rather it be on the wet side. It goes a lot faster out here than in the air-conditioned studio. Considering how humid it was, or is, I thought it might be, I thought it might take longer.
The hotter the air, it's capable of holding more moisture. So the air will suck out, allow you to evaporate stuff.
I just don't want to be like squishing ants in my hand. Or find out that one is alive. So this is reclaim of your black clay.
Of my black clay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And you have you have a bag of black clay, plus I have a bag.
Bad black clay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the black clay as well.
Oh, but it is low fire, right? Or mid-fire?
Mid-fire, yeah.
So we're in fire here.
Yes, we have all mid-fire clays. I was worried that we might have some high fire, but I think it's all reclaimed from mid-fire stuff.
Yeah, I don't think we have any carryover.
Okay, that's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah, we used it all up.
Good for us. Like, that's super soft. Easier to wedge. Too soft and it'd be difficult to wedge, but yeah, and I don't know if we've got some mold going on in here or if there's like a few bits of light clay.
Yeah,
You see the streaking?
the streaking. Oh yeah, it's probably just bits of white clay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, mold is technically good for clay. It makes it more plastic, so it doesn't weird me out or anything. I knew one person who was allergic to mold, so he actually, but he loves the mold in his clay, so he works with gloves. I'm not very good at this. That's looking pretty good though. It's not going to be an angle you can get after we get the walls done.
I know, right? It's kind of disappointing.
Well, we'll figure out different angles.
Maybe we'll just never redo the walls.
False. Okay, so this is mystery clay that I was looking at earlier that I was trying to identify. And I think it's black clay because I didn't know if it was black or terracotta, but it doesn't look red enough really to be terracotta.
It's probably black, but it's not, because it's not reclaim or something. It is a little...
It's darker
it's
because there's no
darker.
mix.
Yes.
Okay, so this was in like a grocery bag in little fistfuls, and I
Oh.
didn't know why.
That's not us.
It was in our cubbies. You don't think we put it in there?
I don't think we put it in there.
I thought maybe it was like a, you know what? That would be funny if somebody else threw it in our cubby.
They may have. They may have been
But-
like, I don't want this.
You and I probably have iron stain on my face
Nope.
now. Okay, good. You and I, because we each had our own cubby, but like sometimes I would throw my stuff in yours or you would throw your stuff in mine if
Yeah.
our cubby was too full. So I didn't remember whose cubby I pulled it out of, and I didn't know if it mattered. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this separate till I can, because I don't want to fire it, like make something out of it and fire it too hot
Yeah.
and melt it, you know, especially in our new to us kiln. Alright, so this is gonna go in here. And then I've got more clay that needs to settle there, but that's like finer particles, so it's
Yeah.
gonna take longer.
Yep. Sure is.
And I'm gonna go ahead and put out some of the reclaim from my bucket. It's gonna get some of this iron in it, but I don't really care because it's already a mix of clays and reclaim, so it's fine if it's darker. I'll just make something interesting out of it.
Okay. What is this?
This is my reclaim, it's a mix. So there's probably some speckled brownstone, some buncombe, and some little loafers in here.
Okay.
That's a brown clay and a couple of white clays. Because right before we were leaving, I was testing out that speckled brownstone. And I like the way it looks. It feels very buttery, and for me, that's not good.
Yeah. Oh, you are not gonna like what that looks like to me.
Well, then don't say it.
Okay.
This is already mostly a brown clay, so it'll be fine getting all that darker clay in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plan is to come out here and get this tomorrow morning. And this is the most amount of clay that I've put on here. The other amounts have been smaller batches, so I think it should take it longer to dry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put a little extra water on top of it because I don't want it to be crispy when I come out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And I would rather come out and it not be dry enough than come out and it be too dry. Because I can always come back again. And I don't want to start the reclaim process over. So if we were temperature controlled, I'd put more texture in the surface so that there's more surface area for the water to evaporate from. But since I'm trying to keep it from evaporating too fast, I'm smoothing it over.
Oh, okay. So this would look like way more wavy.
Yeah, I would go like this
Oh, okay.
and just put finger waves in it. So that's one way you can affect like how long it takes your clay or your reclaim to dry out. There's definitely grog in my clay. You know, you just get mostly clean and then you get clean in the sink later.
The sink we still have to make.
Well, I mean when I go back up to the house, I'll
Yeah.
wash my hands, but yes. Yeah, we need to get some buckets and make a system. And I still need to bring a towel out here. Like every time I've come out, I've been like, oh, I meant to bring a towel. All right, guys, that's probably going to be it for this video. Thanks for joining the adventures of setting up and sorting through my stuff. And hopefully we'll get some videos out test running the kiln and making some stuff soon. All right, see you next time.